Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll have a pretty short update on Tropical Depression Fred that will continue to move to the north and northeast. That could bring some impacts across parts of the mid-Atlantic, especially across parts of the southeast, and may even go up to the northeast. That brings some impacts up there as well. We're also paying attention to Grace here. This is likely to become a first hurricane of the season. Major hurricane is still pretty questionable. Still gotta watch for Grace very closely here, especially for parts of Mexico here, where the hurricane also is where he track it to. We also got a tropical storm Henri. That's actually the right way to pronounce this. So Henri may is is expected to strengthen a little bit more as well. Kind of going around Bermuda here like it is a roundabout, and eventually it's going to move out to sea into the North Atlantic. But we're going to get started with Tropical Depression Fred. With sustained winds at 30 miles per hour, this is slowly dying down, but it is still bringing impacts. Impacts like heavy rainfall for the Smoky Mountains, for the Southern Appalachians. Also, tornadoes across parts of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even into parts of Virginia. And that's where it may go up into the Northeast by tomorrow, which we'll check out the SPC Outlook here. We'll go back a couple days. So here's today. We got a slight risk for severe weather across western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, far northeastern Georgia, even across parts of southwestern central Virginia as well. Again, the main threat will be tornadoes with a 5% chance. Damage winds, that's a low end chance, but hail is not to be expected from this system here. We also have a couple tornado watches in effect out there. We got This is the newest tornado watch. This is in effect until 7 o'clock. And this includes for southwest central Virginia and northwestern North Carolina. The main threat with this here will be a couple tornadoes. A couple tornadoes will be possible, but it's also the secondary threats will be isolated hail up to marble size, and isolated wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour will also be possible as well. And then we got this other tornado watch still ongoing. This is also until 7 o'clock. So this includes for a couple counties in northeastern Georgia. But does include upstate South Carolina, southwestern North Carolina as well. A few tornadoes are likely. Isolated hail up to marble size is also possible. Scattered wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour is also possible as well. So then again, the main threat in these watches areas will be tornadoes. If you get under one of these tornado warnings, please take action because these tornadoes and with tropical systems, they are pretty unpredictable, which we do have a few tornado warnings out there right now, but I don't really have time to do a live stream today, unfortunately. But at least I have the time to make a video on this. So let's check out the Her model, 12Z run. You definitely gotta watch for these cells here. Even these cells further up north, gotta watch for these storms that could possibly rotate, but the main storms to watch here will be some of these storms right here that have the better chance to rotate. Maybe not that far southeast, but closer to the circulation, with these bands of showers and thunderstorms, have the better chance to rotate. As you can see here, as we get to later today, you got these storms here to watch here that could rotate. Meanwhile, in the mountains here, there could be a lot of rain. Several inches of rain seems possible in the mountains of eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, northeastern Georgia, even to parts of upstate South Carolina as well, could possibly see several inches of rain. And that may continue up into the mountains of Kentucky and West Virginia and Virginia as well. And as we move into Wednesday, here's the remains right here. That moves over Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at that point. And definitely gotta watch for some of these bands of thunderstorms here that could possibly rotate. So that's for northern Virginia, parts of Maryland, several Pennsylvania as well. And they may continue to move to the northeast with that low-end tornado threat. And it could go into the overnight hours. And here's the remains of Fred up in New York State by Thursday morning. So definitely gotta watch for those storms there over the next couple of days. If we look to the SPC Outlook here for tomorrow, you do have that large margin risk area, really anywhere from central Virginia all the way up to Severn, New York. And the main threat will be the possibility for some isolated tornadoes. Slackers at rain may be possible, but I think marginal will probably be the best choice for right now. But then again, these tornadoes will be unpredictable from these from tropical depression Fred, as they usually are. So here's the tropical system impact index forecast here. So I do have a level 2 out of 5 on the list here. So this includes eastern Tennessee, northeastern Georgia, upstate South Carolina, and even for western North Carolina, and even into parts of southwestern Virginia as well. The main threat in the mountains will be heavy rainfall. Some places can see over 5 inches of rain, especially in those higher elevations. However, areas to the east there, where the SPC does have that Slikers area, the main threat will be for that chance for a few tornadoes. So we definitely need to watch for that as well. However, areas level 1 out of 5, the main threat will be heavy rainfall, mainly on the northern and western side here, mainly on the eastern side of the level 1. That may for the chance for isolated tornadoes as well. And since I don't, the reason why I don't have this expanded here up into northeast because at that point the Fred will lose its tropical characteristics at that point. So that's why I do not have that expanded up to the northeast because I think Fred will start to lose its tropical characteristics at that point. So yeah, on that. But this is the final forecast that I'm going to issue here for tropical depression Fred. So keep in mind of that. If you guys have not seen the legend yet, here it is right here. So areas in the level 1 here, keep in mind you do not need all 3 here, but some of these places actually have 2 out of 3. So that level 1 out of 5, that'd be 2 for 2 to 5 inches of rain, tropical pressure winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour, and that 2% chance for tornadoes at SPC standards. And that level 2, where it's mainly in the mountains, could see 5 to 8 inches of rain. Tropical storm winds is unlikely. However, some other places do have that 5% chance of tornadoes, but they may not have that chance for 5 to 8 inches of rain. So it could just be one of these things here to get you upgrade to this category here. So keep in mind, you don't need all 3 here. You just need one of them to get upgraded to that category. Now, some places will have sometimes 2 of these or maybe all of them. Uh, so yeah, on that. But then again, that's the final forecast. You guys probably won't see this for a little bit longer because right now, none of these other tropical systems we're going to talk about has no threat to the United States currently, so you guys probably won't see this thing here for a little bit. So we got Fred out of the way. Let's talk about Tropical Storm Grace, and this is starting to get better organized. It's currently affecting Jamaica right now, and that's going to bring those guys a lot of rain, also for some stronger winds as well with that storm system. But let's go back to the National Hurricane Center outlook here very quick. So it currently has winds of 50 miles per hour, central minimum pressure of 1,005 millibars. This is moving west at 15 miles per hour as right now, currently affecting Jamaica. If we click on this, and you can see here, they do expect this to become a hurricane before it makes landfall into that southeastern tip of Mexico, where we do have hurricane watches in effect here. But when it gets into the southwestern Gulf, it may redevelop back into a hurricane here. May try to rapidly intensify before landfall. We'll see about that. Time will tell. It will likely make landfall as a hurricane into Mexico. But right now, Grace has no threat to the United States. However, this is a major threat to Mexico because this has a chance to become a pretty stronger system. This is also looking to be a, uh, probably the strongest system of the season here. Maybe possibly Category 2 hurricane with this system here. I just realized what I said earlier in the video. Elsa was actually technically the first hurricane, but that only happened for like an hour or so. Meanwhile, for this system here, a hurricane will likely last much longer than that. So this is technically actually going to be the second hurricane of the season, but it's also probably more than likely to be stronger than Elsa at that point. I just realized that. Forgot about Elsa. That was briefly a hurricane at that point. So yeah, on that. We do have tropical storm warnings across parts of southern Cuba. Even got Jamaica involved in those tropical storm warnings. Tropical storm watch is still continuing for western Haiti, which unfortunately they've seen a lot of rain out of grace here. Even those tropical storm watches is even in effect for across parts of the northern part of Cuba as well. So we definitely need to watch for those areas there. For you guys, the main threat would just be heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds as well. But areas like in Jamaica and also for parts of the southeastern part of Mexico, the main threat, one of the main threats will actually be strong winds. Jamaica will likely get some tropical storm winds out of the system. Meanwhile, southeastern Mexico may actually experience hurricane force winds as well. We'll see how Grace goes because an area that's going to right now has very high ocean heat content, plus it's very warm, so this may have a chance to rapidly intensify if it could get organized here. It's expected to make landfall in southeastern Mexico probably sometime maybe Wednesday night here. And it gets back over the waters by Thursday afternoon, and eventually may make landfall again early Saturday morning into parts of central Mexico as well. So definitely need to watch the system here over the next several days here. This definitely could become the strongest system of the season here. Here's a hurricane models here where we do have high pressure. I didn't say this on the last update, but we do see a high pressure system. It's been trending stronger with the models here over the last several days here. So we have high pressure building across the north. This is the reason why it's going to go further south because you will have high pressure building, and the models have been trending stronger and stronger with this high pressure system. So pretty much most of the Gulf states, I don't think you guys are going to see any effects with Tropical Storm Grace here, which is Grace eventually may go into Hurricane Grace as well later on in the future. But this is the reason why it's going to stay further to the south because high pressure will be building across the northern Gulf of Mexico here. So I think everybody in the Gulf Coast states will be safe from Grace with this system, thankfully, because this could become a pretty major system over the next several days here. This is not so good news for Mexico, however. Here's the intensity guidance from the models. The majority do bring them into a Category 1 hurricane, but you also notice here when it makes landfall into the southeastern tip of Mexico and breaks it down to a stronger tropical depression. And then whenever it gets back over to the waters in the southwestern Gulf, bam, rapidly intensifies into back into a Category 1 hurricane, possibly a Category 2 hurricane, and then it makes landfall into Mexico, and it kind of dies out from there. So most models do agree on a Category 1 hurricane, which seems very likely, but a Category 2 hurricane is also possible. But if it can rapidly intensify fairly quickly, there could be that very low wind chance for a major hurricane. Time will tell on that, but we'll see what happens with that. I'll give it a very low chance on that one. Here's the GFS ensemble thoughts. Keeps it, most members keep it further south, but you can definitely see here when it gets into the southwestern Gulf, you got most models bringing it down into the 980 to 960 millibar range. That's a hurricane getting close. That's probably a Category 2 hurricane at that point on some of those members. Probably getting close to a Category 3 hurricane as well. So Grace is definitely a system to probably not to play around with. But we definitely really need to watch the system here as well. So Grace right now is right here. I mean, check out how warm the southwestern Gulf is, like I said earlier in the video. Basically, just like bath water. You got temperatures that are 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. That's in Fahrenheit. That's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's bath water. And that's where Grace is going. Grace will be going in something like this. And that's very concerning here. On the last video, we talked about that ocean heat content. So in the highest numbers is where Grace would be going through as well, which could lead to rapid intensification. So this is definitely a system we need to monitor very closely here as well. Here's my probabilities for tropical storm Grace. Forgot to change that. So tropical depression, more than likely. tropical storm, more than likely. Category 1 hurricane, more than likely. Category 2 hurricane seems very possible. I've given it a high-end 70% chance. I think there's a good chance that could happen. However, for a major hurricane, given a pretty low-end 10% currently. If it does rapidly intensify over the next couple of days, don't be too surprised if the Category 3 hurricane percentages do increase over time. However, the chances of a Category 4 or 5 hurricane is pretty unlikely with grace right now. But right now, what seems pretty likely is a Category 1 hurricane and possibly to a Category 2 at this time here. I'll likely be changing these percentages around over the next couple days as well. So just keep in mind of that this forecast can change around over the next couple of days here. So that's pretty much Tropical Storm Grace out of the way. Let's quickly talk about Henri here, Tropical Storm Henri. This is going to be kind of going as a roundabout, kind of going backwards here as a roundabout, really. Going around Bermuda, that's right here. So far, not bringing in major impacts for Bermuda, but right now it's still looking to be a fish storm. However, a couple models are kind of trying to take it closer to parts of the northeast. We may need to watch for that trend there because if it starts a trend a little further to the northwest here, this could bring impacts for parts of the northeast United States. But right now, it's still looking to be a fish storm right now. But I'll show you guys those members here. So here's Henri right now. It's right now a weak to moderate tropical storm. There is a lot of convection to work with this system. Looking pretty healthy. I'll definitely say that for a fact. It is looking pretty healthy. Here's Bermuda right here. And Henri's going to take something like this here. And pretty much will be making a U-turn around Bermuda, basically, is what's looking to be the track with this system. But here's the National Hurricane Center outlook here. It is actually a pretty large cone here when it gets out to 4 or 5 days here. So some uncertainties here with the forecast here. But if it goes to the far northern edge here, that could bring some impacts for southeastern Massachusetts. But if it's kind of in the middle or the further southern tip, there's no impacts expected for the northeast. However, if it does say on the far southern edge of it, that could bring some impacts for Bermuda, where they do have tropical storm watches in effect out there as well. Let's see here. Let's actually check out the hurricane models, and you can see here, I'm starting to see this trend a little further to the northwest here, which is not good. You do have one model bringing to southeastern Massachusetts, but look at all these other models that are bringing it closer as well. We definitely got to watch for this trend here very closely here. Over the next couple days here, we'll see where the trend's going to be going, because if they're going to continue to trend northwest here, the northeastern United States may have to watch for this system here. And it's going over waters that's pretty warm. So, and it can still intensify here and may become a high-end tropical storm, or maybe even a low-end Category 1 hurricane. We'll see about that. But right now, I'm still thinking this is going to be a fish storm, but we'll see how trends will go over the next couple of days here. If we go back to sea surface temperatures, the center of Henri is like right here, approximately, and it's going to be going on something like this here. So it definitely has plenty of time to gain some strength over these waters here where it is pretty warm before it gets into much cooler waters when it gets into the northern Atlantic as well. So Henri is going to be another system to watch here as well. If there's going to be a system that could pose a threat to the United States, it'll probably have to be Henri, which may bring it a little bit closer to the northeast United States. So we need to watch for Henri pretty closely here over the next couple of days. Last thing we'll check out here is we're actually going back to the hurricane models is the intensity guidance. You can see here, majority of models are staying in a tropical storm. However, later down the road, possibly a Category 1 hurricane. So this is definitely a system here we definitely need to watch for the next couple of days here. And we have to watch these trends here as well, because if the trend continues to move up to the northwest, the northeast of the United States may have a threat to this system. But right now, I think it's still going to be a fish storm, but it is something we need to watch very closely here over the next couple of days. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you really like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.